Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from TCG, bringing you guys round two from the last day of league. Still using Reiju, playing against the blue Dofi. I end up playing basically all blue, and you're gonna see it in the next couple of videos. But my opponent won the dice roll. She chose to go first. Obviously, that's what Dofi wants to do. That's the best curve, especially with the leader ability. And she opens up with Perona, so she's able to stack the deck to set it up for the next turn, which is the best opening play for Dofi. And passes it over to me. I'm gonna stage and then tap stage and put the ECG into the trash. And here I'm gonna grab the little ECG, which is the best opening play for me going second, because now next turn, that's what I'm gonna play. Pass over to my opponent. She attaches 2 Dawn, and she's gonna do Dofi leader ability. Obviously, that's exactly what's gonna happen. I take the life. She ends up playing out the 4 cost 6k vanilla gecko. And then I'm gonna stage and I'm gonna chuck the Reiju and search top 3. At this point, I'm trying to find pieces to play. I'm gonna grab the Niji. Want the Niji over the Judge. Want to find the pieces just so I can flood the board and still draw. Judge would have been good, but I don't want to wait on it. So I play the Ichiji, Don minus, play this big one from the trash, and subtract the Gecko by 2. Because now I'm going to try to remove this from the field. So I swing 5 with my leader first to bait out a 2k counter or let it go. And she ends up countering with a 2k, which is exactly what I wanted. And I'm going to just swing with the Ichiji at it, and at this point she lets it go. Ideally, that's my play of it, is I want to clear the board, because if I don't clear the board for Dofi, Dofi's just going to go super aggro. And then next turn, you never know. He's going to do leader ability, Jinbei into a Weevil, or, another Gecko, and it could put a lot of pressure on you. So she swings 9, does leader ability, and does trigger out a Dofi off the top of deck. So she's able to stack and then basically set up her next two swings with leader ability. I end up countering out and saving the Ichiji just because I want to keep putting the pressure on her to get more cards out of hand, or keep swinging at the board. But I open up first, tapping stage, chucking the Reiju, and I'm gonna grab the big Ichiji since that is my only target. Can't grab the Porsches off that search. And then I'm gonna Germa search next. Again, I could only grab the Reiju, so that is, now that's 3 Porsches that I've seen go to the bottom of the deck, which is unfortunate. Now I can't flood the board as fast as I would like to, although I already am doing a pretty decent job at it. So here I'm gonna play Reiju out, Don minus, and play out the big Reiju from the trash. And a reminder, you have to trigger out the character Reiju first, not your leader, because if you're at a big event and someone rule sharks you for not calling character Reiju first, you have, a good chance of losing out on that ability since you drew just off leader. So just a reminder, make sure you call it out like that. So I swing 5 at life. I opt to swing 7, but I decide to play out the Chopper blocker to ramp Don back, which is basically the one I used for the Reiju. So I'm, keeping myself where I should be with Don, just so I could keep playing out more bodies and putting more pressure on if needed. But past turn, here, obviously, we're going to see Dofi ability again. It just depends how much Don she wants to swing for, but she just does for the base 7. I counter, or I block with the Chopper instead of countering, just because you never know. Maybe she could grab Blade, the Chopper blocker, and the Reiju at some point. But she ends up triggering the Gecko Moria, which can fish another 7 Warlords or Thriller Bark from the trash, and she ended up grabbing the 2k Law. And then now she's attaching the Perona with 4 Dawn and swinging for 6 at life. I just counter for 2k. Don't want to take the life if I don't have to. Then she just passes the turn. I start with stage, chucking the big Ichiji, and I'm searching the top 3. Here I'm going to grab the Ichiji. I considered taking the Niji just to have counter, but I'd rather grab the Ichijis so I could keep playing them out, putting them in the trash, and then find the little reds and just play it out. Or I could always play Sora out, trash a card, and cycle out the little red. So just giving myself options. I'm gonna play the little red, grab the ETG from the trash, and I'm gonna minus 2k to the gecko, bringing it down to 3k now. Swing 5 with the Reiju into it. Again, trying to bait out the counters or, getting rid of the board as much as I can. So here she wasn't a chuck counter and she forgot it, reduced it. So she let it go instead of countering out, which I think is the right thing to do. You'd be wasting a lot of counter, and on top of it, I still have 3 more swings. So I forgot to draw off the Don minus, but I ended up drawing it. Again, you got to make sure you're doing it correctly, because you never know at a big event, they could just tell you, you lost your chance. So I swing 5 at life. She ends up countering out with a 2k. And then I'm going to swing 7 with the Ichiji. And here, I think she takes it. She doesn't want to waste 2 cards. And here's a misplay that I did. I tapped 3 to play the Niji, and I'm going to play out the big Niji from the trash and KO the Perona, which is good, but I do not swing with the Ichiji. I passed turn after this when I should have swung with that Ichiji, because then it would have taken, again, 2 cards out of hand or put her at 2 life at this point. So the main thing with Reiju is you want to put so much pressure on your opponent, and I end up misplaying by not putting that pressure on. So it is what it is. He ends up swinging 7 at the Reiju. I let it go. Don't save it. I don't think it's worth saving. I could always play it out from trash with another baby Reiju when I need to draw cards. It's more effective in the trash for me. I already have the big bodies out. And she got Dofi off the top of deck, and she was able to rearrange her stack. Again, setting up her next two to 3 turns, basically. And then she's got 6 Don left, which we know for Dofi or Boa, it's going to be the 6-cost Boa to stun. And this is where the regret sits in, because now that Ichiji I didn't swing with is now stunned. And now I'm down a swing this turn. And then here's another misplay. Here I do stage and I chuck the Reiju to search top 3. I'm going to grab the little red over the big red, obviously, because the little red can play out from trash. But I could have chucked the Ichiji into trash and done the little red to this big red, but I can't now because it's in my hand. I still could, because I could play it from hand, but then I would be down a card, ideally, in my eyes. So I should have reversed it, did the Ichiji over the Reiju, but, I live with the decisions, and I realized that, so instead I'm going to opt to hard play the Ichiji, which you're going to see right now, because I'm still less down than my opponent, being at 7, so it's still going to do the ability, and it's going to have rush, so I just subtract 2k to the active Dofi, it doesn't matter. I swing 5 at life. Here, she's going to decide to counter or not, and she does. Counters out with a 2k. I swing 6 at the Dofi just to get it off the board and not give her another blocker. She lets it go. I swing 7 at life. Here, she's going to have to decide to counter out with at least 3k minimum, which is 2 cards, which she counters out with 2 2ks. And I swing 7 again, and she takes it, bringing her down to 2 life. Now here, she's going to have to remove the board whatever way she can, just because if the entire board sticks, that's 3 7k bodies, a Niji, it's at 6, but 1 Don, it's an easy 7k swing, and then obviously leader swing, and I'll be at 9 Don next turn, so I could definitely go for lethal. So she goes 7 at the Niji, I counter out with a 2k, she got a croc off of life, which is cool, but it's a 2k on the field at this point. And she has 6 Don left? No, she's got, she's got 7 Don left. Here, you're going to see her attach a Don to Boa, bringing her to 9k. And she's going to swing at an Ichiji for 9. I counter out for 3k just because I have the counter in hand, and I want to save this Ichiji because, again, next turn I want to put the pressure and go lethal. And then she still had 6 Don, so I thought she was just going to play another Boa. She ends up tapping 6 and playing Red Rock to Red Rock one of my ECGs, which I was not expecting. So kind of puts me in a pickle. I still have, lethal at this point because 4 swings, but it threw me off what I was gonna do ideally. So I'm gonna start the turn with playing Reiju and Don minusing to get the big Reiju from the trash, so I could draw 3 cards and see what I can get into. So character triggers first and leader. I end up finding the little red and a Porsche, which is perfect because now you're gonna see it. I could play the Porsche, take up the 5th character slot, and then I could play the ECG over the ECG, which ideally can give me another swing. So I'm gonna swing 7 at life. She's gonna have to counter out with 2 cards again if she wants to get out of this swing, but she's gonna take this swing. Oh no, she counters out of this swing. I swing 7 with leader now. I attach 2 Dawn. She takes this swing. I swing 7 with the ECG again. Here she opts to take it, but ends up blocking, which is the good choice. I swing 7. She ends up taking the life, and here's where I play the Porsche. So I do Porsche, Dawn minus. I have to search top 5 for Foxy Pirates. I end up finding one, and doesn't matter to me because I'm just going to go for lethal. I play the little ECG over the big ECG, and then do Dawn minus to play it out and swing for 8, and that was game. If you guys liked the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.